As the kids and adults get ready for the sugar rush known as Halloween, we've got some tricks and some pretty cool treats of our own here at Brown's Classic Autos. Plus, I hate to admit it, not everyone will be dressed up as a race car driver. My guess, superheroes may win out this Halloween, including the God of Thunder, Thor.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh.
That's not the only thing that's fresh. On today's episode of Real Travels, we'll talk to Chris Hemsworth about a new Thor in Thor Ragnarok. Plus, what George Clooney packs in his lunchbox, or at least the one the movie studio sent to us. Drugs, apparently.
Well, that's
AKA
good.
mints, I'm sure.
I hope mints.
Look, I got this. Y'all sit there and hush.
It was the #1 movie last week at the box office. We'll talk Halloween costumes with Boo2's Tyler Perry. So what's the best Halloween costume you have seen?
Oh, I don't know if I should say it.
Sure you can. Miles Teller plays another American hero, and thank you for your service. And I've got some of my best buddies here today because we wanted to thank Brown's Classic Autos and the community for all the support they've given Best Buddies over the years on today's Halloween edition
of Real Travels with Tara.
Welcome back to Real Travels with Tara, here with some of my best buddies, all dressed up because their big gala's coming up next weekend. In fact, Brad, you're the one that introduced me to Best Buddies over a decade ago. Brown's Classic Autos has been a big supporter of Best Buddies through the years, so we thought we'd throw them a little love since the Spirit of Friendship Gala is coming up. It's always a costume party. The theme this year, James Bond. There are still a few tickets available to the Spirit of Friendship Gala. You can go to bestbuddies.org/AZGala for information. You know that James Bond loved his cars. Well, guess what? So do the folks at Brown's Classic Autos. It started with a used car dealership in New Mexico back in 1953. Today, that love of cars continues in a state-of-the-art 25,000 square foot facility called Brown's Classic Autos.
And at Brown's, we keep a good, solid inventory. Everything from the $18,000, $20,000 beginner collector car all the way through deep investment automobiles. My biggest problem is I want to keep them.
The folks at Brown's not only restore and sell classic cars, they provide personalized quality consignment sales and have a fully integrated service department. They've also started a program called My Mechanic, giving customers an opportunity to basically have a full-time mechanic on call, a concierge service for the car owner or classic car collector.
Welcome to the episode of Jay Leno's Garage. It's kind of a special edition because we're at the Brown's Classic Auto in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Brown's made some news when they welcomed General Motors and car lover Jay Leno to the showroom for the Valley unveiling of the 2014 C7 Corvette Stingray, celebrating the 60th anniversary of the great American sports car.
Every day we come to work doing what we do because we love it. We put our best effort into every day out of the desire and love for the cars.
A love that shows. All right, so we've got our Halloween costumes on. Can you tell I'm a race car driver?
Absolutely.
What are you dressed as?
Dressed as a mechanic.
I was going to say supervisor.
Supervisor.
Which is actually what he is. Before we talk cars, though, and servicing your cars, let's talk superheroes. And the big film coming out in the next few days is Thor.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh.
I read that you said you were even getting bored with you.
Yeah.
When did you know that this Thor was going to be completely different?
Look, I always had the want and hope for it, you know, prior to shooting. It was probably 2 or 3 years ago, I called Kevin Feige and said, if we're going to do another one, we've got to change the game in a big way. Do something wildly different to what I've done before, but the whole universe needs to be re-explored and reinvented, and he agreed.
I saw him getting frustrated with it, you know? I could, as an actor, I could be like, yeah, that would get old after a while.
We're the same, you and I. Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Is this like the new Buddy Roadshow, Hulk versus Thor
It's the
thing?
Buddy Intergalactic Cosmic Roadshow, Cosmic Roadshow, Buddy Roadshow movie.
How do you make something fresh with more than just a new haircut?
That's a good question.
I thought the haircut would have been enough, but it wasn't. So we had to work on the rest of it. I think the freshness really comes from just all of us wanting to do something different. You know, I didn't want to make Thor 3. I wanted to make Thor Ragnarok.
Tara, it's so nice to see you.
I feel like every time I see you, I want to do yoga. You are so calming, but yet somehow intimidating.
Not true.
You make me nervous, but you're very, very calming.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a nice
combo.
Combo. That's a nice burrito. What have you brought today? Tell me.
A contender.
I will say, not many people can pull off turquoise eyeliner, but somehow you can.
Thank you very, very much.
However, whose idea to put you? It was almost. I almost wanted to wipe the smudge off, but
You
it's
did?
kind
It
of
seemed
a
like
goatee.
a drool or a goatee.
Something happened
A
there.
kind of soul patch gone terribly wrong. Yeah, well, I don't know. To each his own. You liked it? And then did you notice my blue fingernail polish?
Yes.
And toenail polish?
Yes.
Do you imagine that I'm wearing blue toenails right now?
I actually think it would look. Again, I think so. If anyone could pull it off, it's you.
Thank you very much.
I needed some me time, and I came to Australia, and that's when I moved in with Daryl.
Hello.
We shot this little, like the Daryl and Thor thing.
Which is genius, by the way.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to be around average, everyday people. And Daryl is an average, sort of everyday guy.
What was so good about that, and I didn't realize at the time, but Taika just wrote that and said, I think it could be fun to have this little thing go out. And so we shot it in a day, but it really set the tone before we'd started principal photography of what this character was going to be and what this world was going to be. And so it made that first day on set a lot easier, and we sort of slid straight into it.
The brain is a muscle, and that's a muscle, and that's a muscle, and they are all muscles, this is all muscle, so I am covered in brains, and I have more brains than you.
But in all seriousness, do you get sick of all the attention your muscles actually do get? Or do you kind of like it?
No, it's all right. It keeps me employed and having a job.
It is a lot of work, though.
Yeah, but it's like, I gotta tell you, as far as work goes, you know, for your job to be going train in the gym and stay healthy and fit and have a nutritionist and so on, I mean, I'd be shocked if I was to complain about that. No, I'm very thankful for it.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
What friends would you go, you know what, I'll pay to see that match?
Chris Evans and Chris Pratt. You know, and then they'll cancel each other out, and there'll be 2 less Chris's that I have to deal with.
Oh my God. Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr.
That was a quick answer.
That would be an amazing.
Wait, you didn't take this apart yourself, did
Yeah, with Thor's hammer.
Dad, that's not Thor's hammer.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. His hammer is not this little tiny orange thing. This is like a mallet.
In my hand.
It looks even tinier in your hands, Brad. It's not Thor's hammer. Coming up a little later. Oh, wait till you see what's inside. I sense a little jealousy as I show Suburbicon stars Matt Damon and Julianne Moore our junket swag.
Why didn't we get those? I have kids who have lunchboxes.
I know. Daddy's on the lunchbox.
Would you like Daddy's lunchbox, where he plays a twisted weirdo?
And since it's set in the 50s, because you feature some vintage cars.
Sure. What car plates are you wearing?
Brown's Classic Autos.
Oh, yeah.
In Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Big
no
Jay
rust in
Leno's-
Scottsdale. That's
No.
why you go there.
And while you may want to clear out your garage and consign your car, the folks at Brown's will show you how to do it so we can all take a road trip when Real Travels continues. I thought consignment meant clothes or furniture, but you can consign cars, and you guys do that with a ton of cars.
Well, nobody does a consignment program better than we do, because everybody seems to think that their car is special. And we've got a talented group that try to figure out how to convey the history, the details, and the facts of that car to customers.
And why would you want to handle all that work? Brown's has an entire team that does it for you.
Whether you've got a brand new Escalade that is decided there's no home for it, or you've got a 63 split window Corvette, bring it here, we store it, we clean it, we wash it, we inspect them. In many cases, we've built the car, so we know the history of the car, because sometimes the history of those cars are the unknown secret that scares everybody to death.
Well, and not only that, I would think that sometimes the history of the car adds value to a car.
Oh, it does, absolutely.
So how do you determine a car's value?
It starts with quality. And the great news is, in our community, There's a little company called Barrett-Jackson, the largest collector car auction in the world. The internet, when you combine internet history and really the people that have those great quality cars, they sometimes have amazing books and build pictures and a list of the mechanics and the individuals that built the cars. And it's really neat. I mean, you know how some people build custom houses and some people build their ranch home, and some people really just build an amazing classic car. And we've got a bunch of those here.
One of the cars on consignment, this beautiful old classic Chevrolet pickup.
These trucks have an amazing desire for the 75-year-old guy that grew up in one. Maybe it was his father's gift to him. They also are rebuilding it to either original or these new resto mods.
Well, there have got to be some people that maybe for whatever reason kind of have to consign their car. They're not thrilled about having to part with their car. How do you console those folks? They know the car's in good hands, but it's an emotional decision too.
We've had customers that have consigned it, and when they got an offer, they came back and go, "I'm sorry, I gotta take it back. I just can't do it."
Yeah.
And we've had some really on the other end of the spectrum. We had a great 57 T-Bird. The wife passed away. The husband said, "I'd like you to find the right buyer for this." We had multiple offers. He picked the couple that was going to, they kind of matched him.
He like interviewed these people.
Oh no, it was just such an interview. It was so cute.
You are a George Clooney fan, right?
Everybody's a George Clooney fan.
Who's not a George Clooney fan? So his new film is called Suburbicon. He directs it, but we did have a chance to talk cars, and I asked him, what car was he most attached to?
I still have it. My dad, in 1959, took all of his money that he had, because he met my mom, who was in the Miss Kentucky pageant, and he was driving an old DeSoto, and he wanted to impress her. So he bought a 1959 Corvette in 1959. They spent a good portion of their marriage trying to pay it off, and it was a family car. It's a two-seater.
Oh, no.
My sister sat on a pillow between the stick shift, and I sat on my mom's lap as her airbag. And my mom and dad sent it out here, and I just got it completely restored, and I have it, so I still have it.
That's awesome. I love that story. A story Clooney loved, a script from his pals, Ethan and Joel Coen, Suburbicon.
Welcome to Suburbicon, built with the promise of prosperity for all.
Well, not quite. This picture-perfect 1950s town is not perfect. Matt Damon and Julianne Moore, who actually plays twins, have their lives disrupted after a home invasion. And in typical Coen brothers fashion, with the help of George Clooney's directing, things just get darker and darker from there. It really is fun to watch the two of you unravel slowly, which I think there's an art to unraveling slowly. What is the trick to that, especially for you? Is it just the eyes? It's almost just the eyes for you.
It's her eyes, but it's also her voice, like, that just always cracks me. It's just get a little more out of control, you know. It's like, yeah.
I think that when people are going out of control, they're still trying to hold on to something. So really, it's like, how do you hold on to what you have left?
Nothing like this ever happens here. This is a safe place.
The unraveling of one family is juxtaposed with the horrible treatment received by another. Clooney combined a Coen brothers script with a real-life event, something that happened in Levittown, Pennsylvania, years ago, after an African-American family moved in. You have said that you want this to reflect the times that we're in. In your opinion, what does the American dream mean now?
Well, I think the American dream doesn't change much. I just think that other people want to be able to participate in it as well. When we look back at times that we think we were at our best, the 50s is one of the big ones. We always look back at the Eisenhower years and think of the economy doing well and coming home from the war, and we've been so successful. But the reality was it probably wasn't so great unless you were a white male. It's always good to have a realistic discussion about what our expectations are and how everyone should be allowed to have the same expectations. Really a terrible aim.
George wants to get in there, I know he does.
The director admits he loves watching Matt play a buffoon. I loved seeing him on two wheels. When was the last time you guys were on a kid's bike?
When I was a kid.
Yeah, a few years ago.
The bike showed up and George was like, nope, not small enough, like get another one. So they were like pulling out all the old like Schwinn's and, to get the most ridiculous looking thing. It hurt my butt a little bit. It was kind of hard, you end up, because your legs have to go way out, because I couldn't go like pistons up and down. I had to kind of go out like that to pedal.
Now, sometimes before a film comes out, we actually get a teaser gift, and I'm always curious if the stars, and in this case, the director, even knows about it. This is what they sent us.
A lunchbox?
Yes, but I have to unveil. I have to do the reveal.
Okay.
And then I'll...
I'm afraid.
This?
Yeah, sure. You got
Okay,
yeah.
so
build up your strength.
There you go. Drugs, apparently.
Well, that's
AKA
good.
mints, I'm sure.
I hope mints, but if you take those to the airport, oh, good. Some glasses, some mat there.
Oh, man, I like those glasses. I want that.
Something to help. You can relate to this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh, a
Well,
roller.
that's for the drugs. Yeah,
Yeah,
roll it
that's
out.
right. Uh-huh.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
To make your own sandwich.
You know what's missing?
The bread?
Bread?
A ping pong paddle.
Oh, ping pong.
Yeah, well, you know,
Well,
that's,
and that's all we'll say
we
about
kept
that.
those.
those came in our lunch bag.
That's right.
You'll have to see the movie to see what we're talking about.
I didn't know they sent those out. Why didn't we get those? I have kids who have lunch boxes.
I know.
I'm still
Daddy's on the lunchbox.
Would you like Daddy's lunchbox, where he plays a twisted weirdo?
Coming up on Real Travels, Miles Teller talks about his new film, Thank You for Your Service. And speaking of service, we'll talk servicing your cars, hopefully with someone who knows what they're doing.
I'm nationally known comedian Pablo Francisco, and since this is a movie show, I'm using my movie voice. Real Travels with Tara is brought to you by Harkins Theaters, Dignity Health, Sneaky Big Studios, and National Bank of Arizona.
Our business has evolved from building old classic cars for someone who really had a dream, up to now. I mean, if you're driving a new SUV or one of the newer Corvettes, we're doing repair, service, tires, all sorts of the daily maintenance. Because of the quality, everyone's saying, we want to do business with you. So it's been great.
I'm driving a brand new yellow Yugo, like my outfit here. That's why, back in style. I'm bringing everything back, all right? That's what I'm saying. Hey, they got back.
A car experience should be great. You should feel safe, comfortable, have all the knowledge, because what scares us all about cars is knowledge. What I know and what I don't know. And the good news is we produce all the facts, good and bad. They're cars, they're gonna break. When you got a classic car and you haven't started it for a while, things just happen to it. You got a brand new car and you're using it every day for work, things happen to that.
I don't see too many computers around here, and that's what's so important about cars nowadays, isn't it?
It is. And diagnosis starts with the knowledge of the mechanic and the individual working on the car. And we've got a bunch of specialists, and everyone's got their niche. It's a collective effort. When you come in, we know you, we know what you're thinking of, and we sort through all the problems nicely. We got a great sitting room, we got a little cozy, we got a little piano up there, we got lots of fun. There's always some cool people hanging out in here.
I see you at the piano right now. Hello, welcome to Brown's office. So I'm here to help you out. Don't forget to tip me. Or
You and I
tip
can
me.
do a duo together.
We could. I like it. I'm bringing that Yugo over. So
I love it.
I'm gonna bring it. So.
Bright yellow or regular yellow?
Oh, come on, bright yellow.
Halloween, every year on Good Morning Arizona, you used to go to Easley's Fun Shop and dress up. You had some doozies, Brad, over the years.
Yes, I'm surprised they let me back each year.
You know what? I'm surprised they let you back in the building that day every year. Well, what's the best costume you've ever seen?
Medea's.
Oh, man, you are good. You know why? Because we're getting ready to talk to Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, who has been Medea many, many years, he doesn't love the costume. He says it's hot, it's not comfortable. But I did ask him what is his favorite Halloween costume that he has seen. And just remember, we're just the messengers here. We're just the messengers.
Oh, I don't know if I should say it, but I saw a costume. This little girl, she's from Mexico, and she's walking and she's holding a box, but the legs are coming out of the box, so it looks like her coming out of the box, and it's Donald Trump carrying her to the border. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I couldn't believe she made it. She made this costume. I was like, this is horrible.
Again, I don't want to get political, just the messengers here, but we had to share his answer. Boo 2 in theaters already. Another film in theaters, Thank You for Your Service, the story about how difficult it can be for our veterans once they return home from war.
Hey, stay off the streets, all right?
I'm back in the sand in 3 months.
That's not what I said.
Another role where you're playing a real guy. Do you get close to the people that you play?
I will be connected to that person for the rest of my life. I think the movie will impact that person for the rest of their life, and I've been lucky to where the people I've played are just really kind of commendable, high character, integrity guys. Yeah, I really get along with, and you know, for Adam, he's my boy.
Yeah.
You know, I love that kid.
And then another down.
When you know they're going to make a movie, do you immediately have an actor that you kind of hope is you, or do you just let them?
A lot of things came to mind, and it was just a lot of snapshots, and I just kind of, with a lot of things that are confusing, I take a step back and I just try and see it from someone else's point of view. And I just took a deep breath, and you just let someone do their job. And,
He thinks he looks more like Brad Pitt.
He kept telling me Brad's too old to play me. You were 26.
I didn't say that. I
Yeah,
never
you did.
said that.
I was very apprehensive and nervous and scared in the beginning because it's Hollywood, and we all have this idea of what Hollywood is. But these guys broke the mold, and they welcomed me in, and they're just amazing people. Reminds me of being in the military.
It's 1-1. We were clear on building 20. Building 20 is green.
I am at fault too. You see somebody in the military, you thank them for their service, and then you kind of go about your day, without ever even knowing what they've been through, what they've witnessed. I mean, how do you get past the thank you for your service?
Well, to me, I think I have a vocabulary for it because a lot of my buddies are in the military. You know what I mean? So I got no problem going up, oh, hey man, do you serve, and what branch were you in, and you know, did you deploy, and you know, how many years, you know, or whatever. Like that, to me, even that's kind of baseline and those questions. And then, yes, some of the guys are, want to talk about it, and other guys don't. But as Adam said, kind of the welcome home, or if they're about to deploy, you know, or they're overseas, like stay safe, you know, get home safe, guys, you know, that kind of thing. It's the return home that a lot of them just feel like they don't ever get to.
I think thanking them is fine, but I think that we have to take a step to understand what they've been through, and hopefully this movie does that. Hopefully this movie shows people a little bit more what it's like for them, and we have a greater understanding, and we can start a conversation.
And what you're thanking them for.
Yeah, what are we thanking these guys for? Ask them about their service, ask them who they are, and welcome them home.
Thank you for looking after my son over there.
He's my brother. We look after each other.
I hope you've enjoyed the Halloween edition of Real Travels with Tara. What's the best? I know you've got two boys. One is a little older. Well, actually, they're both growing up. What's the best Halloween costume you ever saw them in?
Oh, lately it's been Thor. You talked about Thor and the hammer.
Yep.
The hammer comes at me every day.
Thank you for letting us invade your space. If you want to consign your car, if you need it serviced, if you need anything automotive related, you can just go to Brown's Classic Autos. We've got the information on the screen. They've been around. Your dad started this back in the 50s, didn't he?
Early 50s. Yep. Been around forever.
Love cars ever since?
Oh yeah, it's in my skin. See, there's a 57 Chevy right in there. You can't see it.
Are you going to go out tonight and trick or treat, or are you going to hand out candy, or are these the treats that we're handing out today? These cars.
It's a great question.
Shiny treats.
Candy.
Candy.
Oh, I got to have some chocolate.
We need more of a sugar rush. Have a great Halloween, a safe Halloween weekend, and we'll see you at the movies.